All right, so we are dealing with stripped screws on LS valve cover. Not fun at all. Let's see if I can get you guys in here. Excuse the filming by myself here. Let's see if we can get the screw flashlight here. So I can get this thing to act right. And then we're gonna get up in here. Oh, I am not good at this at all, huh? Where are we at? There we are. Now let me see. If I can get some light in there and get it to where you guys can see. So, I don't know if we can get a good visual. Yeah, there you can kind of see. It's flat. Let's go over to this one. Yeah, you can see the threads in that one, see? LS valve covers are aluminum. So they just don't take much. And if you don't have an inch-pounds torque wrench, game over. So what we're gonna do, got a cheap Amazon Heli Coil set here. It is Billet Tools HSS M6x1 is your threads. That's what you're going to want to get if you have an LS. This one is a 5.3 LS for our race car. See if I can show you that one real quick. It's a 81 Camaro, old bracket car. It's raining like crazy, guys. Sorry. But you can kind of get a good view. It's a full built bracket car, Lexan windows, 10-inch slicks, nothing super special, but we're going to try to put about 750, 800 horsepower to the ground, see what happens. But anyway, let me get this set back up and we'll get to it. Very simple 5-minute process, if that. Let me see if I can get this set up. All right. A lot of people are probably going to gripe about this, but it is what it is. I'm going to use a drill for all of it. Now, as you can see, put a rag in here to try to catch all the debris. You're not going to catch it all, FYI. Got a can of air. And up there, I've got some starting fluid, brake cleaner, all that good stuff. But we're just going to put it in there. Before we do the next step, we'll lube it up. But for this, we don't need to. If I was taking a little more time to do this, I would take my caliper and I would check the thread depth, but I've already done a couple of these, so I've already kind of got a feel for it. Another good trick, funnel, shop vac to suck out the metal. It is kind of hard to get in there, and you'll see when I turn on the shop vac, it just sticks on here. So. So, if you need to get into tight spaces, your shop vac's too big, that's all you gotta do. Works for me anyway. All right. Another cool little tool here. It's a Harbor Freight special, but it's a magnetic flashlight on an extender, and it bends. I didn't even, oh, actually I take that back. I got this one at the Zone. But yeah, it's just a regular flashlight, and it's magnetic. So comes in pretty handy. It's all about the tools, right? That's what they mean when they say you can never have enough tools. My wife disagrees. I don't want to put that fuzzy stuff up. It makes it catch that aluminum a little more than I like. Try to tuck it up in there the best I can without throwing more metal shavings in there. It's all going to have to be cleaned out anyway. There's just trying to avoid as much damage as possible. All right, so drill bit out. Tap goes in. No, not the most appropriate way to run a tap, but should probably use a handle and not drop it like I just did. But as long as you're slow and kind of take it easy, you'll be fine. I mean, this drill I've had for 15 years. It sticks when you pull the trigger anyway, so as you can see. So sketchy territory no matter what for me. But hey, I'm used to it. All right. Check, make sure that's going straight. Seems to be. Get a little bit of PB. Trying to do this a little by the book. Whose book, I don't know. By what book, I don't know. All right, and then just slowly take her in. And that is all messed up if you guys can't see. Probably another reason why it's not good to use a drill, but that's all right. These taps, when they go in, you see how it gets wider as it goes. So you'll have an opportunity to straighten it out. It's really hard to tell. Seems pretty tight to me. I've learned with these Heli coils, it doesn't have to be perfect. This aluminum here, it only holds, don't quote me because I'm going off memory, but I want to say give or take 250 inch-pounds before it strips out. And these Heli coils, they'll go they'll go, 1,000 pounds or so before they give out. So pretty much no matter what you do, you're going to be stronger than it was factory. So I know it's a little sketch working on a motor like that on a stripped screw, especially when it's a built race motor like this one that's got, you know, the potential of 800 horse. So that in dollars means about $8,000. Here we go with the vacuum. All right, get y'all up in here, see what y'all can see. And you saw I even started out a little crooked. Get this centered where it's not jumping all over the place. And we'll see if I can get you a view of the threads. And you saw I even went crooked at first, but you can see those are some really good threads. All right. All right. Next part. Tap out. Drill down. All right. Now, so this is the kit right here. This camera, I'll figure it out eventually, but I can't see what I'm showing y'all unless I flip this screen back and forth. But so over here, these are the coils. So see if I can get a good view of it here. So you can see it has a little tang on the end of it. Grab another one. Get this thing to focus the way I want. And of course, the phone's gonna ring. Alright, sorry about that. Yeah, that's what pays for all this, guys. I know it looks like a mechanic shop everywhere around here, but mini splits, that's what we actually do. And while I'm distracted, because that happens often. Yeah, we also sell tools from time to time when we get them in hand, generators and mowers and stuff like that. But there's our 2-post lift. Got to get it put in soon. And over there, plasma cutter, fuel injector cleaner, all that good stuff. Always starts out as a hobby and fun, and then turns into a full-time job, right? So let's get back to this, see if I can actually get you guys a camera's not cooperating. But you can see there's a little tang on it. And all you do, if I can get this positioned right, where I can work with 2 hands. Imagine that. Huh. So this is the punch. This is what you use to break that tang off after you get it put in. And this is the tool. See, it's got a little slot in it right there. You slide that right over the tang, and it has this nifty little handle. I'm going to try to show you all this as I do it. So, and this is with one hand, so this is not hard to do at all. Sometimes it can be a little fussy starting it, but it's not hard. She's going in. And then one of the, it's probably not super important with this because the bolt doesn't sit flush on what we're putting it in. But typically you're going to want to go at least till you're flush, if not a little bit further. You don't want it sticking up. And of course now it doesn't want to give me the tool back. That is strange. Never had that happen before. First time for everything. And there's that. As I said, it is a cheap Amazon tool, but it does work very well. Let's see here. I can get y'all in there. You can maybe see that tang. It's still down in there. Yeah, you can see it right down in there. So next, we'll take this punch right here, slide it down in there, as far as will go, and you just take something like this handy dandy wrench, whatever, and you just pop it. And then that breaks the tang off. And then you should be good to go. Yep. Tang removed. It is no longer in there. Now, don't ask me where it goes. That's one of those mysteries of the world. I'm sure it's in there somewhere. But on something like that, there's just really no way to pull it out. So you can try to blow it out with an air gun, whatever, but I just never see it again, so I don't worry too much about it. If it was something where, you know, it went through all the way, then, you know, that'd be different. But so now we're going to take our test bolt. And it threads in super, super easy. And it's very tight. All right. I say test bolt, this is actually the bolt. And one of the other things you want to do when these strip out, when it's aluminum, is I've already cleaned these up, but I will show you. It looks a lot like a Helicoil, but this was actually the aluminum. This camera doesn't like to focus too well. I'm gonna have to work with the settings on it, but this was pieces of aluminum that were in it. They were still in the threads on the screw. You can see they'll actually break. Yeah, that just broke off. So, yep. So you want to make sure you clean those off. In other words, you're going to do this and it's not going to tighten up. And you're going to think it failed if it even goes in. All right. So there's that. Now let's get our fancy valve cover here. And I say fancy because we made them fancy. As you can see, on an LS, the bolts are made to stay in the valve cover with rubber grommets. It can be kind of a pain. Here's the rubber grommet. I'm sure you can do it without pulling it off, but I always pull it off, just like so. Get the grommet off. Snap the grommet in, just like so. Another thing I do, these gaskets right here on the LS, I RTV them in, and they never come out again until it's time to replace them. And then we will snap this back in there. Maybe. Just really got to work it in there. There she goes. Very nice. Alright, now we got all 4 bolts in. Heli coiled up, ready to go. I'll get these camera angles a little better the more I mess with this new camera. But now it's kind of hard to see what's going on while paying attention. Mad respect for people that do this all the time. It's like trying to watch what the camera's doing while trying to watch what your hands are doing while trying. Yeah, it's a whole thing. But I often find I can't find what I'm looking for, and so I did, however, find a video on doing this process. Although I've done it many times before, I was a little worried about the Helicoil kit I got, but ironically enough, there was a video on the exact same one and on an LS. So if you're looking at this video, you'll probably find that one too. But that's pretty much it, guys. Just tighten these down, get them to the right torque specs, which don't get me lying, I don't recall. I'll have to look it up again. There it is. Helicoil done. Let's while we're still here, let's just for giggles, let's make sure she snugs up. And we painted these bolts, so it would probably be smarter to put some plastic over them first. If you've got painted bolts and you don't want witness marks on it from sockets and ratchets and stuff, banging it up, you can put a plastic Ziploc bag over the bolt, then put your socket on, and it'll actually protect you from witness marks. Which can be necessary on a fancy painted motor. So this is the torque wrench. I think it's already set to what it's supposed to be for these valve covers, but I'm not the one that did it. So I'm not going to trust it to be set to the right one. But for now, I'm going to verify that everything snugs up correctly. I had already, before I recorded this, I had already done one bolt on the other side that I knew was stripped, and then I came over to check these bolts on this torque wrench to see if the torque wrench would click, just to see if that's what they had already been torqued to what this torque wrench was set to, because there's several of us that have been working on this motor. And that's when I found out that there was another stripped one that I didn't know about. Always fun to find out. But it was a good time. I was already in the process, so this is snugging down nice. So I'm gonna get this one, jump over to this third one here, snug it up, and jump over to this fourth one here, snug it up, and then that should leave the one I just did the helicoil on, should leave it a little bit loose to where when I go to snug it up, oh, that was wild. Always nerve-wracking after dealing with strip bolts. I don't know if I just had another one pop loose and strip. The threads look good though. I'd be really surprised. I'm not tightening these down very tight. But it might have. We might be doing another helicoil today. It might have just been, no, she snug it up nice. Yeah, that's the ticket right there. Look at the torque specs. We'll make sure it's stored down correctly. And that's it. All right, well, the next time I think of something cool, I'll try recording it. Let me know what you guys think.